You are about to learn 7 prophecies that will change the way you see the world. Pay close attention, because each one has the power to open your eyes to things you never imagined. And there's more. At the end, there's a challenge that 97% of people can't accomplish. Will you be different? These prophecies will touch on points that you might be feeling but can't explain. The feeling that something is wrong, that the world is changing too fast. But don't worry, because along with each prophecy, you will receive ideas on how to prepare for what's coming. Stay until the end. What you discover could change your life forever. Prophecy 1. The rise of the world leader. In the coming years, you will see a person appear suddenly on the world stage. This figure will capture everyone's attention with their new ideas and promises of peace for the entire planet. Many people will be impressed by how they managed to unite different countries and solve problems that seemed unsolvable. This leader will create a strong alliance among several European countries, gaining influence very quickly. They will show astonishing skills in making agreements that no one thought possible before. Their popularity will grow in an incredible way, with people from different cultures and religions seeing them as some sort of savior. This person will seem to have all the answers to the world's problems. You will hear a lot of people talking about how amazing they are and how we finally have someone capable of bringing peace and prosperity to all. But do not be deceived by appearances. Behind this facade of kindness and wisdom, a dark plan is forming. This leader is not who they say they are. In fact, they are using all this goodwill and admiration to gain more power and control over people. Gradually, you will notice that their actions do not always match their beautiful words. They will start making decisions that only benefit a few groups while harming others. But many people will remain blind, believing that they know what is best for everyone. It is important that you stay alert and think carefully about what is happening around you. Do not believe everything you hear or read about this leader. Seek information from reliable sources and talk to people who think differently from you. Remember, things are not always what they seem. Sometimes the most dangerous people are those who present themselves as the kindest and most altruistic. Keep your eyes and mind open to see beyond appearances. This prophecy is just the beginning of a series of events that will change the world as we know it. Stay tuned, because things are going to get even more intense from here on out. Are you prepared for what lies ahead? As this leader gains more power, you will notice changes in the global economy. Suddenly, it will seem like everything is improving. People will have more money, jobs will increase, and many economic problems will disappear as if by magic. But don't be fooled. This prosperity comes at a high price. The new economic system will require people to give up many freedoms. Gradually, you will realize that you are being watched all the time. Your purchases, your conversations, even your thoughts will be closely monitored, all in the name of security and the common good. This new world order will promise peace and harmony among nations. Wars will decrease, old conflicts will be resolved, and it will seem that we have finally achieved an ideal world. But beneath this shiny surface, something sinister is forming. People who oppose this new system will start to disappear. At first, no one will notice much, but over time, it will become clear that those who don't follow the rules simply disappear. Families will be separated, friends will turn into enemies, and distrust will grow everywhere. Meanwhile, the world leader will garner more and more admirers. He will do things that seem miraculous, solving problems that have existed for centuries. Many people will believe he is some kind of Messiah sent to save humanity. But you, who are hearing this prophecy, need to pay attention. Look beyond appearances. Question everything you see and hear. Don't be swept away by the wave of adoration for this leader. Because behind all this glory, a terrible plan is forming. The world as you know it is about to change forever. And you need to be prepared for what's coming. Keep these words in your heart and stay alert. Difficult times are approaching, and only those who are attentive will be able to see the truth behind the lies. This prophecy is a warning, a call for you to wake up and see what is happening around you. The future may seem frightening, but remember, knowledge is power, and now you have the knowledge to prepare for what lies ahead. You've just heard about the emergence of a world leader who will change everything. It sounds scary, doesn't it? But hold on. There's more coming. You see, many people aren't noticing what's happening in the world. It's as if they are sleeping with their eyes open. That's why I did something special for you. I created a digital book that explains everything we're talking about here, but with much more detail. And the best part, you can download it right now. The link is in the first pinned comment. But hurry, because there are only a few copies available. Soon I will have to take it off the air. Grab your digital book now and prepare for what's ahead, because the next prophecy, this one, will leave you speechless. Prophecy 2, the Great Economic Transformation. You will see a huge change in the economy worldwide. Suddenly it will seem like all money problems have disappeared like magic. People will have more cash in their pockets, jobs will appear everywhere, and those debts that seemed impossible to pay will become easier to deal with. At first, everyone will be thrilled. After all, who doesn't like having more money, right? The stores will be crowded, people will travel more, and it will give the impression that we've finally reached that future of prosperity everyone has always dreamed of. But pay very close attention, because not everything is what it seems. All this wealth comes at a price, and it's quite high. Gradually, you will notice that to access all this money, people will need to give up a lot. The freedom we had before will start to diminish, little by little. First, they will say it's for our own good, for our safety. Then, they will say it's to ensure that everyone has the same opportunities. But deep down, what's happening is that they are creating a system where they can control everything we do. You'll see that to buy anything, you will need to use a new type of money. There will no longer be paper money or coins. Everything will be digital, and every cent you spend will be recorded in a central system. And it doesn't stop there. To access this new economic system, people will need to accept a special mark. It could be a chip, a digital tattoo, or something we can't even imagine yet. But one thing is certain, without this mark, you won't be able to buy or sell anything. At first, many people will think this is great. After all, no one will need to carry a wallet anymore, right? Everything will be right there, in your hand or on your arm. But the problem is that, along with all this convenience, comes an absurd amount of control over your life. Just imagine, every place you go, every item you buy, every person you talk to, everything will be recorded in this system. And what if you do something the government dislikes? Well, it's just a matter of turning off your access, and that's it. You'll be unable to do anything, and you know what's worse. Those who do not accept this mark will be left out of everything. They won't be able to work, won't be able to buy food, won't even be able to have a bank account. It will be as if the person no longer existed for society. Many will accept this mark without a second thought. After all, life will seem so much easier with it, right? But others will resist, and that's when things will get really ugly. You will see families being torn apart because of this. Longtime friends turning into enemies. People being reported by their own relatives. All because some will accept the mark and others will not. And don't think this will only happen in distant places, no. This will be here, in your city, in your neighborhood, maybe even in your own home. This new economy will promise to solve all the world's problems. It will say that now everyone will have the same chances. But in reality, what it will do is create such a strong control system that it will be almost impossible to escape from it. So, stay alert. When you start to see these changes happening, when money starts to become easier in a way that seems too good to be true, remember this prophecy, because the price of all this convenience will be your freedom. And you, are you prepared for what's coming? Do you think you will be able to resist when everyone around you is accepting this new reality? Think carefully, because the choices you make now will determine your future in this new world that is coming. This prophecy is a warning, a signal for you to keep your eyes wide open and not be deceived by promises of easy wealth. Because at the end of the day, freedom is worth much more than all the money in the world. Prophecy 3, the rise of the false prophet. You will see a person emerge out of nowhere, claiming to have all the answers to the world's problems. This guy will seem like a saint, saying beautiful things and doing things that will leave everyone stunned. Many people will believe he is a messenger from God, a true miracle worker of modern times. This false prophet will have a way of speaking that will make people believe everything he says. He will mix ideas from various religions, making everyone think we have finally found a faith that unites the whole world. It will be crazy to see how people will fall in love with this guy. But pay close attention, because behind this facade of kindness, something ugly is happening. This false prophet is not alone. He is working with that world leader who appeared earlier, you know. The two are partners in this plan to deceive the whole world. The false prophet will perform things that seem like miracles. You will see him healing sick people, making it rain in the desert, and even talking to people who are already dead. All of this will be broadcast on TV and the internet, so the whole world will be impressed. But you know what's worse? He will use all this fame and admiration to convince people to worship the world leader. He will say that this leader is a kind of God on earth, and that everyone needs to follow him without question. And it doesn't stop there. The false prophet will be the one responsible for creating a new global economic system. He will say that it's to end poverty and bring prosperity to everyone. But the truth is that this system will be used to control every person on the planet. You will see him announcing that everyone needs to accept a special mark to be able to buy or sell anything. It could be a chip, a digital tattoo, or something we can't even imagine yet. The important thing is that without this mark, you won't even be able to buy food. At first, many people will think this is great. After all, who doesn't want a world without physical money, where everything is easy and convenient? But the problem is that along with all this convenience comes an absurd control over your life. Just imagine, every place you go, everything you buy, every person you talk to, everything will be recorded in this system. And if you do something the government doesn't like, well, they can just cut off your access, and that's it. You won't be able to do anything. And you know what's worse? Those who don't accept this mark will be left out of everything. They won't be able to work. They won't be able to buy food. They won't even be able to have a bank account. It will be as if the person no longer existed for society. The false prophet will use religion, science, and technology to convince everyone that this is the only way to a better world. He will say that those who do not accept this new system are enemies of progress, people who do not want to see the world evolve. You will see families separating because of this, lifelong friends turning into enemies, people being reported by their own relatives, all because some will accept the mark and others won't. And don't think this will happen only in distant places. No, this will happen here, in your city, in your neighborhood, maybe even in your own home. This new world order will promise to solve all problems. It will say that now everyone will have the same chances. But in reality, what it will create is a control system so strong that it will be almost impossible to escape from it. So stay alert. When you start to see this guy performing miracles on TV, when everyone is talking about him as if he were a saint, remember this prophecy, because behind this facade of goodness, a terrible plan is forming. And you, are you prepared to resist when everyone around you is following this false prophet? Think carefully, because the choices you make now will determine your future in this new world that is coming. This prophecy is a warning, a call for you to keep your eyes wide open and not to be fooled by promises of miracles and easy solutions, because in the end, the truth is worth much more than any illusion, no matter how beautiful it may seem. Wow, you just heard 3 prophecies that could change everything. Is your head spinning? Calm down, there's more. Before entering the 4th prophecy, let me ask you something. Had you heard about these first 3? Did you know they existed? I was left speechless when I discovered them. It's like watching a movie unfold in front of me, you know? If you already knew about them, let me know in the comments. And if you didn't know, say that too. I want to know what you think about all of this. Now get ready, because the 4th prophecy, this one will leave you speechless. Seriously. Are you ready? Then let's go. The 4th prophecy talks about Prophecy 4, the Great Tribulation. You will see a time of suffering like never before. It will seem like the whole world went crazy all at once. Everything you know and love will be turned upside down. This period will be so difficult that many will wish they were not alive to see it. First, you will notice that the weather has gone insane. Giant storms, earthquakes, tsunamis, everything will happen with a terrifying frequency. Places that were safe will turn into danger zones, and those places that were already dangerous well, they will become practically uninhabitable. Along with that, new diseases will appear out of nowhere, things that doctors have never seen before. And the worst part, the old diseases, those we thought we had under control, will come back with a vengeance. Hospitals will become overcrowded and many people will not be able to get treatment. Food will become scarce. You will see huge lines at the market doors and empty shelves. Whatever is for sale will cost a fortune. Many people will go hungry, even in countries that were once wealthy. And it doesn't stop there. Wars will erupt everywhere. It won't just be fighting between countries. You will see neighbors fighting against neighbors, families dividing. Violence on the streets will spiral out of control. But you know what's worse? Amid all this chaos, that world leader who appeared earlier will show his true face. He will say that only he can solve all these problems, and many people will believe him. He will create a total control system. Everyone will have to accept a special mark to buy food, work, or do anything. Those who do not accept this mark will be treated as enemies. And then things will get really ugly. People who refuse to worship this leader and accept his mark will be persecuted. It won't just be not being able to buy things. It will be a real hunt. You will see people being imprisoned just for believing in God. Entire families will have to hide. It will seem like there is no safe place left in the whole world. But not everything is lost. Amid all this darkness, there will be brave people who will rise against this evil system. They will risk everything to help others and keep hope alive. You will hear stories of people doing incredible things to save others. Ordinary people becoming heroes overnight. And that's when you will have to decide which side you will stand on. Because in the midst of all this chaos, there will be a choice to make. You can accept the mark of this world leader and have a normal life, with food on the table and a roof over your head. Or you can resist, knowing that you will suffer, but maintaining your soul intact. It will not be an easy decision. You will see friends and family giving in to the pressure. There will be moments when you will think it might be better to give up. But remember, this tribulation will not last forever. At the darkest moment, when it seems there is no way out, that's when the turnaround will happen. But until then, you will need all the strength and courage you can muster. This prophecy is not meant to scare you. It is a warning, a call to prepare. Because when these difficult times come, you will need to be strong not only in body, but especially in spirit. And you know what's most amazing? Even in the midst of all this tribulation, you will see miracles happening. People being healed of incurable diseases, food appearing out of nowhere to feed the hungry, people escaping impossible situations. It will be a time of extremes, the worst of human wickedness, but also the best of kindness and love. And you, which side will you be on? Think carefully about that. Because when the great tribulation arrives, there won't be time to sit on the fence. You will have to choose a side. And that choice will define not only your destiny, but the destiny of everyone around you. Are you ready to face these difficult times? Or do you think this is all an exaggeration and will never happen? The decision is yours. But remember, it's better to be prepared and not need it than to need it and not be prepared. Prophecy 5. The return of the Messiah. You will see something that will leave everyone speechless. In the midst of all that confusion I mentioned before, when it seems like there is no way out, something incredible will happen. The sky will open and you will see someone coming in the clouds. This is not a joke. It's the Messiah returning, as he promised a long time ago. But don't think it will be a cute scene. He won't come as that baby in the manger anymore. This time, he comes as a warrior, ready to set order in the chaos. You will see a huge army descending from the sky. Millions and millions of angels, all dressed in white, riding horses. And in front of everyone comes he, the King of Kings. His eyes will shine like fire, and on his head there will be many crowns. The noise will be deafening. Imagine the sound of millions of horses galloping in the clouds. The whole earth will shake. People will be terrified, not knowing what to do. That world leader whom everyone thought was the guy will be in panic. He will try to gather all the armies of the world to fight against the Messiah. Can you believe such a thing? The guy really thinks he can win this fight. But you know what's crazier? There will be no fight at all. The Messiah will open his mouth, and with just his words, all the armies will fall dead to the ground. Yes, you heard that right. With just his words, there will be no need for weapons, no need for bombs, none of that. And then, that world leader and the false prophet who deceived so many people, they will be the first to be thrown into a horrible place, a lake of fire. They will stay there forever, paying for the evil they did. But it doesn't stop there. The Messiah will send an angel to imprison the devil. Yes, the same one who ran free doing a lot of evil. The angel will chain him up and throw him into a deep pit, where he will remain locked for 1,000 years. Then comes the best part. The Messiah will sit on a throne and begin to govern the world. But it won't be like these governments we know. It will be a government of justice, of true peace. Those who remained faithful to him during all that difficult time will have a special place in this new government. They will help the Messiah take care of everything. You will see incredible things happening. People who died a long time ago will come back to life. People will no longer get sick. There will be no more hunger or poverty. Animals that were once ferocious will become tame. Can you imagine a lion eating grass next to a child? Nature will change completely. Deserts will turn into gardens. There will be food in abundance. People will live for a very, very long time. No one will die young. And the best part, there will be no more war. Weapons will be transformed into tools for planting and harvesting. No one will need to be afraid of anything anymore. But you know what's most incredible? The Messiah himself will be there, walking among the people. Can you imagine that? Being able to talk face to face with him, ask questions, hear his stories. This time will last 1,000 years, 1,000 years of peace, joy, with everything working the way it should have been from the beginning. It's hard to imagine a world like that, isn't it? But look, there's something important for you to know. Not everyone will be there to see this happen. Only those who stood on the right side, who weren't deceived by that world leader, will be able to enjoy this wonderful time. So think carefully about what you are doing now. The choices you make today can determine whether you will be there to see all of this or not. Don't leave it for later. The time to decide is now. So, what do you think? Are you ready to be a part of this story? Or do you think all of this is too crazy to be true? Think carefully, because time is passing, and this change could happen faster than you imagine. This prophecy is a warning, but it is also a promise. An amazing future is coming. Do you want to be a part of it? Wow, 5 prophecies and your head must be spinning, right? But hold on, there's more. Before we dive into the 6th prophecy, I want to remind you of something super important. Remember the digital book I mentioned at the beginning? Well, it's now or never. The link is in the first pinned comment. Click there and download it right now. Seriously, it's very important that you get your book before it runs out. Do you know why? Because it contains all the details of these prophecies and much more. It's like a complete guide for you to understand everything that is happening in the world. And look, the units are running out quickly. So hurry up now, get ready. The 6th prophecy. This will change everything you know about the future. Prophecy 6, the final judgment. You're going to see something that will leave everyone in awe. After that time of peace I mentioned before, something no one expected will happen. The sky will open up again, but this time it's not to bring peace. Just imagine. A huge throne, as white as snow, appears in the sky, and sitting on it is someone so bright that you can barely look at him. It's the judge of all the earth, ready to make the final judgment. Suddenly, you're going to see people from all places and all times appearing. People who lived thousands of years ago, people who died yesterday, everyone together. And you know what's crazier? Even the sea will give back the dead who were there. Yes, you heard that right. No one will escape this judgment. Then, you will see something incredible happening. Huge books will be opened. And in those books, it is written everything each person did during their life. Every word, every thought, every action. Everything is there. But there is one book that is more important than all the others. It's the book of life. And it is in this book that the judge will look for each person's name. Now pay close attention, because this is the most serious part. If a person's name is not written in this book of life, they will have a terrible fate. They will be thrown into a horrible place that the Bible calls the lake of fire, and they will stay there forever. You must be thinking, wow, but this is very heavy. And it really is. But you know what's crazier? No one needed to go through this. The judge, who is Jesus, had already done everything so that people wouldn't reach this point. Remember I mentioned the Messiah returning as a warrior? Well, before that, he came as a savior. He gave people the chance to escape this judgment, but many people didn't want to know, chose to follow another path. And then, on that day of judgment, those people will have to explain why they rejected the offer of salvation, why they chose to follow that crazy world leader instead of following Jesus, why they accepted that mark on their hand or forehead in exchange for an easy life. But don't think it will only be bad people being judged. No, there will be a lot of people who thought they were good, who did charity, who went to church. It's just that they relied on their own good deeds instead of trusting in Jesus. And that won't be enough. The judge will look at each one and say, "I never really knew you." Just imagine the sadness of hearing that, after thinking you were doing everything right. And you know what's worse? There will be no going back. There will be no second chance. The time to decide is now, while we are still alive. This judgment will be the end of the line for many people. But for others, it will only be the beginning of something wonderful. Those whose names are written in the book of life will enter an incredible place where there is no more suffering, nor pain, nor death. So, what do you think? Are you ready for that day? Is your name written in this book of life? Or are you taking the risk, thinking your good deeds will be enough? Think carefully about that, because when that day comes, there will be no turning back. The time to decide is now. Do you want to spend eternity in a wonderful place or in a terrible one? This prophecy is a warning, but it is also an invitation for you to make the right choice now. While there is still time, don't leave it for later because you don't know when it will be too late. So, what will you do with this information? Will you ignore it and continue your life as if nothing has happened? Or will you stop to think seriously about it? Remember, the future is coming, whether you like it or not, and the choices you make today will determine where you will spend eternity. So choose wisely. Prophecy 7. The new heaven and the new earth. You will see something that you can hardly imagine. After all that time of peace I spoke about earlier, after the final judgment, something incredible will happen. The whole world, everything you know, will change completely. Just imagine. The sky and the earth we know will disappear, poof, as if they never existed. And in their place, a new heaven and a new earth will appear. Everything clean, perfect, without any stain of the evil that existed before. And you know what's even crazier? In the middle of all that, a huge city will descend from heaven. But it's not just any city, no. It's the New Jerusalem. It is so beautiful that it shines like a precious jewel. The streets are made of pure gold, so clean that they look like glass. And the gates? They are made of giant pearls. Now, pay attention because this is the most amazing part. In this new city, God Himself will live with the people. Can you believe it? The Creator of the universe will be there, walking among the crowd, talking, laughing together. And you know what else? There will be no more sadness, nor pain, nor death. Nothing bad will exist in this place. That urge to cry, gone. That heartache when someone you love leaves, never again. God Himself will wipe every tear from people's eyes. Time as we know it will no longer exist. There will be no day and night, because the light of God will illuminate everything all the time, and people will live forever, without aging, without getting sick, without anything bad. And look how cool. People will be able to eat from the fruit of the tree of life. Remember that tree from the beginning of the Bible in the Garden of Eden? Well, it will be there, bearing fruit all year round. And its leaves will be used to heal the nations, but pay attention, not everyone will be there. Only those whose names are written in the Lamb's book of life will be able to enter this wonderful city. Those who chose to side with evil, who preferred to follow other paths, will be left out. So, what do you think? Can you imagine a place like this? It seems too good to be true, right? But this is what the Bible promises to those who choose to side with God. Now here comes the challenge. I want you to think carefully about everything I just said, from the first prophecy until now. Think about how the world is today, about the things you see happening out there, and then I want you to respond in the comments. Do you think we are close to seeing these things happen? But wait, that's not all. There's more. I want you to think about your life, about what you are doing today, about your choices, and then I want you to answer as well. If all of this started happening tomorrow, would you be ready? Look, I know it's hard to think about these things. We are always running around, always worried about work, debts, everyday problems. But sometimes we need to stop and think about what really matters. This challenge is not just for you to respond in the comments. It's for you to truly reflect on your life and what you're doing with it. What really matters to you. Because in the end, we never know when things will change. We never know when it will be too late to make the right choices. So think carefully. Look at your life. Look at the world around you. And ask yourself, are you ready for what's coming? Are you living in a way that if everything changed tomorrow, you wouldn't regret your choices? That's the challenge. Think about it, reflect genuinely, and leave your answer in the comments. I'm curious to know what you think about all this. Wow, you made it this far. Incredible, right? These 7 prophecies are breathtaking. Now I have a special request for you on the screen. You will see 2 videos. Take a look at them, okay? I'm sure you will like it. And you know what else? If you enjoyed this content, do the following. Click that little subscribe button. It's quick and doesn't hurt at all, I promise. Oh, and if you really thought it was awesome, how about giving that like? It will help me a lot. And want to do more? Share this video with everyone. There are a lot of people out there who need to hear these prophecies. Thank you so much for staying until the end. You are amazing. See you in the next video.